Guess what, you guys? It's time to talk about Advent of Tess. So this is the daily challenge that I run every December where I publish a tutorial of 25 different origami tessellations for free, and you all get to fold along. So what are these patterns that are included this year? We're starting off with a nice closed triangle twist pattern, perfect for someone who hasn't folded many, if any, tessellations before. And by the way, all these patterns are using 24 grid divisions on a hexagon. I don't expect you to fold them this small your first time through. In fact, a better size is much larger. Nice hand-sized pattern. This one has a 5-inch per edge hexagon as the starting paper. These are more like 3 inches per edge. So we've got all closed triangles all on the same side, and then we progress to using closed and open triangles, again all on the same side, and then closed and open triangles in a different arrangement with some double open triangles as well. So what am I saying with these closed, open, double open? It's the size of the hole on the back. Specifically, how many grid spacings are on each edge of the hole? 0, 1, 2. Closed, open, double open. And we can use these open triangle twists. This is the first time we're folding on both sides of the paper. And that's one of the themes for this year, these iso area patterns that are the same on both sides. Then we get into the hexagons. We've got this closed hexagon and open triangle twist pattern. And this is a classic pattern, but you'll see in the Advent of Tess ebook this year that there's still ways to create variations even from that starting point. Then we've got one of my own patterns. Actually, all of the triangle twist ones were my own patterns also, where we're starting with a hexagon. We've got these triangles around it, and then we put the next hexagon on the other side, because that also makes an infinitely repeating pattern. That's the thing with all of these. You can take any of these and fold the small form, or you can use it on a larger grid, like 48 divisions or something, and see the central pattern repeat in other places on that grid. So our next pattern gets into rhombus twists with the easy introduction, and then we go full into lots of rhombus twists on both sides of the paper, and we've got the open hexagon in there too. That's another new twist for that day. I'll be going over all the different twists used in Advent of Tess and how to fold them in a later video in November. But yeah, lots of cool stuff going on. And this one actually has 2 different alternate endings in the ebook, in addition to how the core pattern repeats. Then back to our iso area patterns. This one uses only rhombus and triangle twists. Closed rhombus, closed triangle. The same on both sides, and that's also true of the next couple as well, but these have denser spacing. So there's some cool stuff going on. And if you remember the tutorials from the last couple weeks, the star rhombi in 2 triangles, star rhombi in 1 triangle, also a star rhombi in 1 triangle tiling pattern. These are where the rubber meets the road. Then you can have your triangles and rhombi in a different arrangement. And actually these 3 patterns all start in exactly the same way, with those groups of rhombus twists around the center. You can see I've oriented these to all be the same orientation, pretty much. So we have the same starting point and go in 3 completely different directions with it. So that's a mini theme. And then there's these hexagon, and these are actually closed trapezoid twists with this flagstone area of closed triangles and mixed depth rhombus twists, which make this parallelogram shape. And so we're getting into the second theme, which is, well, we already got into the theme of dense spacing, but the final theme is trapezoid twists. So the next patterns have more trapezoid twists and more mixed depth twists. They have trapezoid twists where the corner is tucked under this layer and it goes to a unfriendly mixed depth rhombus, which we can still fold directly on the paper. And you can do a very similar thing with an open hexagon in the middle and closed trapezoid twists around the outside. So this pattern was actually designed in one of the videos I did in preparation for Advent of Tess last year about alternate endings. Or maybe it was before that in follow-up from the previous year's Advent of Tess with figuring out how you can continue patterns that start with a hexagon, then triangle, then trapezoid. But regardless, you can see the design process in one of my other YouTube videos. Then we've got trapezoid twists in an iso area pattern. So we've got these twists at flagstone spacing. We've got our trapezoids showing up on both sides. That is also true for the next pattern, but we also have these double depth triangle twists. And yeah, these, I mean, the reason why we have so many super dense patterns this year is because I wanted to fit it all on the 24 grid divisions. There are no twists hanging off the edge. That's even true with some kind of crazy patterns like these where we have these 3 trapezoids and you can think of them together as a great big triangle on both sides of the paper. And then you see those same triangles made up of trapezoid twists with rhombus twists in the middle. And that's the same spacing, the same rotation direction as the rhombus twists in the middle that I was pointing out on earlier days. So you can see how these things are building into each other. Then we get some flagstone motifs of trapezoid twists around this closed hexagon, and that hexagon is actually going directly to the trapezoid, and more trapezoid and triangle twists on the back. And here we have a twist tucked under another twist. That's another micro theme because we'll see that again in the folding process of the final day. So here we have a really similar pattern, but with the hexagon twist on the opposite side. So it's kind of crazy how many variations you can make on these kinds of patterns. Then we actually step down in difficulty to introduce a new tiling with the hexagon trapezoid. Again, that fish shape, that's a closed trapezoid, not a closed rhombus. So hexagon trapezoid, rhombus, triangle tiling. And this is mystery weave. It's very closely related to tumbling blocks weave, which I taught back in July. The difference is that here we use the closed trapezoid instead of open and the closed rhombus instead of open. I think the triangle is a different size too. But anyways, this one actually fits in 24 grid divisions. The other one does not. And then we get back to our flagstone motifs of trapezoid twists. This one continues with rhombus twists on the back, again with that double depth hexagon that we saw in the previous day. And then we get into Coronas, day 25, where we have an open form of the double depth hexagon twist and another different flagstone motif of those trapezoids, which looks oddly familiar, but with a completely different setup in the middle and different pleats connecting to the hexagon. So that also continues with a rhombus twist and then goes on, and you can use it in several different ways. And these last two both have several different alternate endings in the Advent of Tess 2025 ebook. So that is all the patterns that we have and how they build on each other and connect up to that final day. And now I want to talk a little bit about the different ways that you can get your supplies. So I have several new options in my store, gatheringfolds.com, this year, which are already cut out 5-inch per edge hexagons. So if you remember, those are the size that I said were appropriate for beginners. This is, you'll recognize, one of the days that we were talking about. And with these hexagons, you get a more reasonable size to work with. And on some of the hexagons, you get the crease pattern already printed, numbered by day, comes in a set of 25, those 25 different patterns. With some of them, you get some of your gridding already marked for you. So these are pressed lines in the paper. You do still need to go and fold on those lines, but it already wants to fold there. You already have the rest of the lines to use as references. You don't need to go through the normal division of 3. And then you go straight to, okay, from 6, I divide in half to get 12, divide in half again to get 24. And then you have your 24 division grid. There's also blank hexagons. So let's say you wanted to do 32 grid divisions on this size. You could do that on the blank hexagon. It would be a bit harder to do on the pre-gridded with sixths. So there's all these different options. I'll say the pre-gridded comes in sets of 25, the blank comes in sets of 50, and these are the same price. So you get twice as many hexagons per dollar with your blank hexagons. And that brings me to the other option, which is massive sheets of Skytone paper. So these sheets are 12.5 by 19 inches, and you can get these in sets of 50. You can also get acrylic hexagon templates in a variety of sizes. These small and medium templates are bundled together on my site. You can get 2 of these small template hexagons, which are the same size, more or less, as these cutout hexagons. So from a bundle of, or from a pack of 50 sheets of these, you can get 100 hexagons, and that's also $30. The template itself, these 2 templates together cost, if I remember correctly, $33.50, something in that zone. So you would be investing a bit more upfront in the templates, but you can also send me a message and I can separate out the single template that you're interested in if you want to go that route. There are also other sizes of hexagon templates, which are currently only available in the full paper pack, which comes with 75 sheets of paper. This big hexagon template. There's a smaller hexagon template floating around on my desk somewhere that really does not want to be found. So you don't have to waste all of this paper on the outside of the big hexagon. You can fit 2 of these smaller hexagons in there. That's the size that I used to fold these demonstration pieces. And this bigger size of hexagon is really convenient if you want to go through the ebook and fold the alternate endings. So this is not a size that I have available in pre-cut form, although I am working on it. might not be before the end of the year. We'll see how sales of the other paper packs go. That's my big holdup, is the funding. But these big templates allow you to cut out blank hexagons, which are perfect for folding rotated grids, which is really important if you want your tessellation to have a nice pleated border. And you can do that really quickly with a rotary cutter, zip around. I usually do 5 or 6 sheets at a time. So there's lots of options. Oh, and the full paper pack, in addition to the 75 sheets of Skytone, the large template, the mini template, also comes with a bone folder, a 2-sided red and blue colored pencil, and some clips. So that's all the tools that you need for actually folding the paper. Again, as I mentioned, you'll need a rotary cutter or other cutting tool and a cutting mat in order to cut out the hexagons with these templates. But that's commonly available in pretty much any craft store. If they sell fabric, they also sell rotary cutters. So that's what's going on with the supplies. Sometimes you can also find Skytone paper on Origami Shop. So if you're in Europe, that would be something to check. I know that right at this instant when I'm recording this on September 24th, it's not in stock, but I did talk to Nicola and he is trying to get that back in stock soon. So that is how you get your supplies. So Skytone is manufactured by Mohawk in the United States. There are larger sheets that are available from there. They would be up to 25 by 38 inches. So if you wanted to do something gigantic like my open hexagon closed triangle twist series, that is where you would go to buy that paper. But their website is kind of confusing to use and you have to pay attention to the specific weight. I'm pretty sure all the colors, there's 4 colors available, are in stock right now, but that is kind of inconsistent. So here we have the Skytone in a variety of sizes with a variety of added perks, and you can go ahead and order that paper right away. I will mention though, there's going to be a delay in shipping the first week of October because I'm going to be out of town and it's just me around here. There's no one else helping with fulfillment. So things that are ordered like the last couple days of September and first couple days of October will ship the first full week of October. So that's what's going on with the supplies, with the patterns for Advent of Tess this year. And by the way, if you order supplies from me before next year's Advent of Tess stuff comes out, you also get these little postcards and a flyer with all the information about Advent of Tess, so you can help spread the word with any other community who you think would also enjoy a nice way to relax after a stressful day and challenge their brain with these crazy puzzles that get harder as you go. So happy folding, everyone, and see you in Advent of Tess.